but busy with the launch, so it was actually quite nice being able to sit here. And I guess that is what we're going to talk about today in this 20-minute golden nuggets. It's not a presentation, it's more like a chat. I'm just going to look at what I've learned from this launch. So what I'm doing is like once a month, I'm doing a quick half-hour thing where I'm just going to go through all the things I've learned in the last month, which of course I can't fit into 20 minutes, but the highlights. And as I've just finished the Survey Snatcher launch, I thought I'd share with what I learned in there. Lots of useful stuff for pretty much anyone. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're launching your own product or not, whether you're doing affiliate sales, whether you're an offline consultant, whatever you're doing. I'll keep it at the level where everyone can use this in their own internet marketing. It's also going to be applicable to newbies, intermediates, advanced. I've even invited my JV partners to this. So I send out the email to pretty much everyone and anyone I know, because they were really good, useful, actionable things I learned during this launch. Alrighty, awesome tool, Roy says. Yeah, thank you very much. It's kind of odd to say I love my own tool, but of all the tools I've created or had created, I mean, I'm always at the design stage and at the interface with users, figuring out what to put in, what not to put in, how to make it user friendly, and does the stuff that it's supposed to be doing. Of all the tools I've been involved with, this one is truly the one that excites me most for many, many reasons, and we'll kind of go into that during the next 20 minutes. It's just so much fun setting them up. And the other day, I just, I'm doing another webinar this afternoon in about 3 hours, and I needed to put up a survey, just ask a couple of questions like, oh, look, I've got a tool, and it is so smooth, so slick, just a couple of drop boxes, boom, there you go. For anyone who's got Survey Snatcher, we'll do an awesome little competition tomorrow. I won't have time today, but tomorrow we'll start a little competition who can come up with the most exciting way of doing a survey. So the whole purpose of this is basically to share information, how we're applying this, what kind of feedback we're getting from the market, so everyone can learn from everyone and get the most out of this. Alrighty, we've got another 2 minutes. So, by the way, I'll keep this short, so I will start on the dot and finish on the dot, and the dot is 1/2 the hour. So we're starting in about 2 minutes, and then 30 minutes later, we'll stop. And I'll enforce all of that by setting the alarm on my iPhone. This is me making special iPhone sounds. Alarm sound, come on, where are you? There you go, start, reset, timer. No hours. Okay. Andrew says Raul has been a champ. His support and effort was remarkable. It truly is. It is a. I didn't even put that in the presentation, and as we're 1 minute out, I'll start with Raul, I guess. One of the things they tell you when you get into internet marketing is go team up with other people, and it's so much easier in a team, etc., etc. And I would say the success rate of JVs, the proper partnerships, is at most 10%. It's so easy to get excited over Skype. We talk with someone, and they've got all this exciting stuff going, and then boom, reality hits, and when it's crunch time, they suddenly flake out and disappear and steal your money and whatever. I've been there. They, dog gets eaten. They get depressed. Some bizarre financial crisis, whatever. It all happens all the time. And Raul, it's the opposite. Raul is a working machine, has a very good understanding of what I want. So we're kind of talking the same wavelength, which is excellent. Occasionally we have the little disagreement about work and lifestyle. He's Spanish, so lunch obviously takes 3 hours. I'm German. Lunch is a sausage taken in front of the computer. So, but apart from that, it really is fantastic, and he's on the ball with all the support tickets. So it's absolutely fantastic. One of the best. No, I would say the best JB I've ever done. So with that, it is now 9 o'clock in the morning for some people, or it is 3 in the afternoon for me, and I'm firing up the timer. 20 minutes starting now. Okay. All right. So welcome on the call, everyone. Norma says it's 6:59. No. It's now 7 o'clock, Norma. As my computer tells me, and Windows never lies. So let's go in. 20 minutes gold nuggets. All the observations from my current launch. And here's the format. Here's the format. 20 minutes of content. It's going to be conversational style in the sense of sharing. It's basically everything I've observed. A lot of it I shared in the various Skype groups where I'm hanging out with fellow internet marketers, etc. So it's going to be the same style. I'm not going to give you a fancy PowerPoint presentation. That's not the purpose. This is us having a conversation, you learning from what I learned, and us all moving forward. If there's interest, we'll do a 10-minute Q&A at the end, and then there is nothing for sale. Isn't that cool? Now, I put that in there on purpose because we are all in the selling profession, right? We all need to get comfortable selling. And my background, I'll give you the very, very short version. I learned selling in the insurance field, and it is rather painful. Unfortunately, I had a mentor, who basically forced me to pick up the phone. He was sitting next to me, and I was going, yeah, no, I'm going home, I'll do that from home. Obviously, never to do it. Unfortunately, he forced me to. So whenever I see emails that begin with nothing for sale, I'm kind of going, oh God, you guys, seriously? I mean, it's either you're uncomfortable doing it, or you've pitched your list so much that you now think, you need to open with this, so they even start reading your stuff. So my advice here is, having gone through the whole, how painful it is to sell, it is, if you want to get or be really successful online or in business in general, you have to get comfortable selling. And of course, that doesn't mean hitting people over the head with sales psychology. It means just knowing when it is time to sell, and then if you know it's a good deal, then you go and push for that thing. So that's all we've got here. So there's literally nothing for sale, but I just wanted to make sure everyone understands that when it is time to sell, I will sell something. Alrighty, observation number 1. Split testing. I've always done split testing. Okay, my background is computer science. I'm a geek. I like split testing because it shows me or as expected, you find the unexpected. You always find something where you think, how the heck? So I just saw Norma's comment there. Again, at 6:59, Norma helped me out with a headline for the OTO, the upsell page in the Survey Snatcher launch. And that change, that single change in headline, resulted in a 231% increase in conversions. Now, isn't that amazing? A single change in a headline. Now, obviously, there was no surprise there, because Norma absolutely rocks at writing copy that sells. But still, it's nice to be able to put a figure to this, because if you just go, right, I'll change it now, and then we'll see sales or not sales, that is not very useful. So here I'll show you one variation of useful or not useful. This is, if you've seen the sales page for Survey Snatcher, towards the end, the last 2 days, we had a countdown timer on the sales page. And basically what I tested was countdown timer at the top, at the bottom, near the sales button, both at top and bottom, and nowhere, and then one more variation which didn't have the special ending in, but just the counter itself. As you can see, they've got an original at the top, which was converting at 8.74% of all the traffic, and I've got 2 variations that are significantly less effective. Namely, one is converting at 3%. That's almost 2/3 less, and one at 5.66%. That's 1/3 less. And then some that were slight improvement. Actually, the figures you see here, the 3% increase and 5% increase, aren't quite accurate, because I didn't stop the result here. So if you can look at the screen at the top, it says start date August the 12th, which was the second last day, and it's reporting until today. So there was kind of more visitors to the page, so this number has been diluted. These numbers were actually more extreme when we only had the actual number of visitors compared to the conversions. So the bizarre thing is, this is a takeaway. There are two good takeaways here. In this particular launch, on this particular landing page, the most effective placement of the scarcity timer, if you like, was either at the top, which was variation 2, or at the bottom. But it was never having two timers on the same page. So very useful insight. However, and this is the important thing, is whatever you're doing in internet marketing, you can use this as an idea you want to test, but you always have to test it yourself. You cannot go in and say, Veit said, or anyone said. Whenever I see any guru say, oh, here is the truth, right? You have to use personalization in subject lines. That is total and utter BS, because it depends on the traffic. It depends on, your offer. It depends on so many things. So you always have to test. Anyway, big takeaway. For my particular situation, only one countdown timer was important. The position itself was not important. 2 countdown timers was detrimental to conversions. Big takeaway, you have to go and test. And by the way, if you go to convert.com, this is the interface of convert.com, it is dead simple to do this kind of stuff. Literally, you load up your HTML page or WordPress page or whatever, and you can move around the screen and just basically click on individual things. Like, you say, I didn't want to see this text up here. You hover over with the mouse, and it'll be a little frame appear. You click on it, and it says, what do you want to do with this? Make it disappear? Do you want to double it? Whatever you want to do. Do you want to edit it in HTML? Convert.com, really, really cool interface. Super, super easy to do. Anyone can do this. So split testing, absolutely. If you don't do split testing, you're not taking this thing seriously. That is my big observation here. Right. Next, scarcity at the end. Alrighty. I'm personally not a big fan of sales psychology used for evil purposes. Too many people go, false scarcity and prices going up and it's going away and blah, 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 blah. Limited number of digital copies, blah, whatever. However, a reality is, and this is kind of important, it's a writer-downer, human nature is, or human brains are hardwired to react to things like, for example, scarcity. The whole sales psychology thing is that we react to certain things, and scarcity is one of them. Simply, in the good old days, if food is running out, winter is coming, then we better make sure we collect all the stuff and keep it for winter. So we are hardwired, and there is very little point fighting that nature of our brains. So, although I personally dislike the evil use of sales psychology, I am aware that there is that thing, and I'm not then going to go, all right, I'll totally ignore it. Okay, that is, some people kind of hide, and that goes back to what I said in the beginning. If you're not comfortable selling, that's a real problem. So you need to get to the point where you go, right, I'm okay selling, and scarcity is one of those things the brain reacts to. And one of the consequences of this is, for example, that towards the end of the launch, the last day, we had a $12.50 EPC for every visitor, every single click that came to the sales page. We made $12.50. Now that's pretty good. So here's another observation: people will miss it. All right, you can bet your bottom dollar the moment you end a launch and you close it. And I've done this many, many times. I've actually, whatever I say on the sales page, I do. I close the sale. I increase the price. Whatever I promise, I do. And then the support tickets start coming in. Oh, sorry, I missed it, and da 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 da. It's just the nature of the beast. So you need to be prepared for that and just go, right, here's my policy. This is how I'm going to deal with this. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm exactly the same thing. The other day there was a course, oh, it'll go away tomorrow. I'm going, yeah, I'll do it later. And then, in comes this email, oh, by the way, it's going away in 3 minutes. I'm like, shit, run over to the computer. I literally ran to the computer to quickly get that product. It's just the way it is. A lot of people will procrastinate as long as possible. And as a result, you will get those support tickets. Also, related to this is queue your emails. So this is for anyone who wants to do a launch. Okay, if you're launching, queue your emails in advance to both your JVs and your list, because there's simply too much to do during a launch. In this particular instance, I forgot to email my own list at the end of the launch. And the reality is, in most launches, when you've got a scarcity close at the end, and this is, we had a real scarcity, real like this thing is going away. You will make between a third and half of all sales in the last day or so. And I totally forgot to email my list. And that is because people are just like myself. No, yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Oh, crap. I missed it. Okay. So queue your emails. Make sure they are ready to go out, because there's just simply too much to do when you're doing a launch. Right. Here is the biggest insight of them all. It's another writer downer. It's one of those things you kind of have to experience before you truly get it. I mean, everyone on this call will get it intellectually, but to truly like understand it, you have to do it at some point. So we had a JV competition, and depending on the number of sales you made, you were in a leaderboard, and then towards the end there were prizes. And what I noticed after a couple of days was the leaderboard was full of men, all the male JVs, and the ladies were all bunched at the bottom. They were like, just out of the top 10. I'm going, what is going on here? And then I had a look at it, and I talked to the ladies, said, what's going on here? You're sending traffic, but it's not converting at all. It turns out the most important ingredient of them all is Tom, and the traffic to offer match. And in this particular instance, when I wrote the sales letter, I had in mind my one particular avatar who happens to be male. So the entire copy, there wasn't much copy. If you've seen the sales letter, you know what I'm talking about. It was mostly lovely screenshots of what our plugin can do. But the target audience was kind of male. And a lot of the ladies in the internet marketing space, of course, due to being ladies, they attract more of a female audience. And they communicate in a more female way. And of course, that kind of traffic was a really bad match for what I had. That is one example of traffic to offer match. I'll give you another example. In this particular example, we had a landing page that was written specifically for traffic that is coming from JV emails. If I were to now switch on Facebook ads, or do some media buys, or do PPC and send it to that traffic, it would not convert at all, simply because it's starting from a totally different point. People who are clicking on an ad are in a totally different part of the buying cycle, and therefore it's a really bad match. So whenever you hear someone teach that you need to have like your one offer and the one traffic source, and then boom, off you go, yes, high level, that's correct, but you kind of need to delve in and go a little bit deeper and look, where specifically are people coming from, and where in the decision-making cycle, where in the buying cycle are they? And then you can switch this on. Another example, another angle on this whole thing is that the name of the product is aimed at the Warrior Forum. Okay, we're now re-releasing it as a product that has a totally different name and is aimed at the more business-oriented market. So it'll have a different name, a totally different copy, different, same product, but totally different positioning. Right, oh, here's one you're gonna love. So everyone tells you information marketing is awesome because you get to keep 100% of the profit. Isn't that awesome? And even as an affiliate marketer, you get to keep 50 to 75%. Well, here's the reality. On a six-figure launch, let's call it $100,000, if you're giving away 50,000 to JVs, okay, you're actually really only making 50,000. Now, the reality is you're giving away almost 10%. It's 9.86% to PayPal and JVZoo, if you're using JVZoo. And if you give me 1 second, I quickly need to run to the door. Alrighty, that was the UPS man with my new coffee machine. How exciting is that? It's actually not exciting because I don't have any coffee beans in the house. Oh no! Right, where are we? 100%. 50% goes to affiliates. 10% of actually the original price of the 100 of the 6 figures goes to JVZoo and whatever affiliate platform you're using and PayPal. So now you're already at a maximum of 40%. And then if you start giving out JV prizes, you're easily at 35%. And then, of course, the one thing we all know we should be doing, and not enough people are doing, is you actually outsource a lot of the work that goes into creating a product. You don't want to do everything yourself. For example, the sales letter creation, the graphics, etc. I had outsourced to some guys in the Philippines. And before you know it, of the allegedly 100%, you're looking at whatever, 30, 35%, somewhere around there. And if you now partner up, like I do with Raul, it's not like, yay, every time I launch a product, it's like, a house paid off and, another car, etc. It's not quite the case. So all of this I'm highlighting for one particular reason, and that is basically there is a cost associated with traffic. And a lot of people come into internet marketing and they go, right, this is all super awesome and I'll get free traffic from SEO, etc., etc. There is no such thing as free traffic. So right from the beginning, budget in the cost for traffic. And if you do that, if you adopt that mindset and you go, like, it doesn't have to be masses, but if you're willing to invest like $50, $100, and just quickly test an idea with paid traffic, you will advance so much quicker than people who go, right, I'll just buy the latest keyword research tool. I mean, whenever I see this, like, unearth the hidden gems in keywords, yeah, bullshit. Come on. Who's the hidden gem? It's a hidden gem when someone can prove to you that it will convert for your offer, traffic to offer match. But it's not going to convert just because it's sitting there and no other SEO has discovered this thing. So, couple more points here. We're running out of time, and we don't have to rush through this. We can do another session at some point. I want to keep this to around about 20 minutes for this first part. Single message. Big observation here is when I sent out a couple of emails during the launch, and because I hadn't queued them, I was kind of rushed, so I put lots and lots of different things into one email. The response rate you get from an email that has like 2 or 3 different points is abysmal compared to an email that says, here's the one thing I'm talking about today. And Norma is going to go and hit me over the head now because it's so obvious. Whatever marketing message you're sending out, one message, that's it, no more. Damn UPS time sucker. Okay, I tell you what, I'll add 3 minutes for the UPS man. Is there another slide? I'm still seeing the Tom slide. Do you all see the observation slide? We should be gone way beyond Tom's slide now. Quickly let me know. Yes, observations. Okay, cool. We're all coming by for coffee. Yes, excellent. Alrighty, cool. Single message. So whatever your marketing communication, always focus on a single message, and don't do as I do because I'm really bad at it. I get so excited and I have so much like stuff that I learn about that I wouldn't share at all. So really I should have had this 20-minute talk here about one thing, but there you go. Here's an example of JV partners, so-called JV partners. They basically request the link and then they buy the product through their own link. So you can see, one visit. This is number of visitors. This is number of purchases. This is the conversion rate. Yay! So basically, these bought the product for themselves through their affiliate link to save some money. Like, cool. And in Fran's case, I was in a bad mood at that point. I saw all these guys there, so I just emailed Fran and said, like, I might be mistaken, but I think it's pretty uncool. It's bad karma. Now, Fran replied back to me and said, oh, no, she's a serious affiliate, and she showed me everything she's got, and she's really sorry about that. She didn't mean to offend me. She just wanted to make sure she's got a copy so she can review it, implement it, and do a proper review, which is awesome. So my reply to Fran was, look, when you do this, inform the product owner beforehand. Tell them what you're doing. That's totally cool. And no product owner has a problem with that. But if you approach an affiliate and ask for the link, buy the product, and then don't promote, and she basically hasn't promoted yet because she's, she was busy and some stuff came up, so she will do it at some point. Cool, that's totally fine. But basically, all these other guys, there was no response to my emails, boom, they're all going to be banned forever. And actually, I'm going to go and share their names with everyone else I know as a product creator. So when you approach people and ask for a review copy, say what you've got planned. I've got some people who said, look, I'm a total newbie, I've got a tiny list of 100 people, so I'll try my very best. And I'm totally cool with that. I'd like to help. Yes, that's the timer gone. I know. Leave me alone. We'll give the UPS extra minutes. Where was I? Yeah, I'm happy helping out a newbie and giving them a review copy so they can review it and then hopefully make some money with it, like the $12.50 EPCs at the beginning. So there you go. That's on that one. Next time, what we can talk about is basically how to approach other people who actually. I'll tell you what. Will remind me at the end. Okay, if I don't remember it, how to approach other people to promote for you. Please don't be a spammer, okay? So if you type in Survey Snatcher, there's this guy, Chase Watts, who hijacks every single product that's being launched with his YouTube videos, which have nothing to do with the product. It's basically just, Survey Snatcher review, warning, and then it's a straight pitch for his coaching thing. That's spamming. Don't do that. So observations, buying through an affiliate link, refunds. Okay, here's an interesting observation. If you do launch and you then shut up, and don't ever mention your product ever again, people are going to forget, and they're not going to ask for refunds. If you send out an email saying, hey, how's it going? How are you using the product? Are you having fun with it? Some people will remember, oh, shit, I'm not actually using it. So they ask for a refund. It's something to keep in mind, and I think it depends on the price point where you're aiming at. In my particular case, I don't really care, all right? I'm after quality clients, people I can truly help. And someone who doesn't use my stuff, obviously I can't help, so it's fine. Send them a refund, be done with it. Delete from list and be gone. Black hat BS will always happen, all right? I see this in Skype groups all the time. People get really, really excited about this black hat bullshit. You get your stuff ripped off. At the moment, mine isn't in the black hat thing. It's being requested, but no one's put it in there because it's kind of, it uses the licensing system. But even if they did, look, it's not worth going in there, because you can spend your time in a much more productive way rather than infiltrating black hat circles and trying to sue them and all that kind of stuff. Gmail tabs is a reality. Gmail tabs is basically when you go into Gmail and you'll see that the emails that are now going into the promo tab, and incidentally, because I'm using Aweber at the moment, most of my emails will end up in the promotions tab. So please, if you want to receive my emails, make sure you pull them over to the primary tab and then say, yes, I want to receive all future messages. But the reality is, for pretty much anyone who's using one of the big autoresponders, a lot of your messages will end up, no, not a lot, all of them will end up in the promotions tab when people are using them, and that's quite a few people. So at the moment, I'm observing about a third drop in open rates in emails. Now, that's quite bad. When suddenly a third of your product, of your business goes down, you got to do something about that. So I'm not seriously contemplating. I'm just looking how to do it, and then I'll move to a different email provider just because, I like my business. So Almunir says, respectfully disagree. All right. Almunir says, respectfully disagree. I'd like to know that the person is going to be here to support a product and provides extra tips on maximized use out of the product. Yeah, absolutely. That goes back to the point with the refunds. Okay, if you send a mail reminder, that's what I'm saying. There's no disagreement, Almunir. We're on the same page. I'm perfectly fine reminding people how to get the most out of it, and I really want them to succeed. So I don't care about the person who suddenly realizes that, well, it wasn't for them and they ask for a refund. Okay, first time you get a refund, I remember my first refund request. I was personally offended. I put so much effort into my product, and how dare this person ask for a refund? And it's just the way it is. Okay, some people buy and then realize they don't use it and ask for a refund. It's fine. Okay. Michael says, switch to SendReach. Well, I'll tell you what, we're talking to SendReach at the moment about integrating SendReach with Survey Snatcher. So, cool. All right, spam idiots. Yes, I've shown you that image there. This guy here, spam idiots. Don't do spamming. All right. Okay, so wrapping up then. High level, split testing. The big question is, what do you split test? Okay, the one thing when I look at this and all the conversations I'm having on via private messages, via Skype, etc., a lot of people go like, but what do I split test? Where? And I'm not talking at a technical level. I'm talking about how the heck do I even get to the point where I've got something I can split test? Because if I've just got a site and no traffic to it, well, there's no point split testing. If I've got, I could potentially go to Facebook, but I have no idea where to drive people. So what I'm going to split test then, etc., etc. Very, very important. So the first point here is like, you need to get to a point where you've got this thing, the one block that I don't know what you want to call it, this property that has all the necessary bits in place, no matter how ugly it is, but you kind of need to get there as quickly as possible so you can start split testing, because truly split testing is probably the biggest secret or the biggest point of leverage for getting where you want to get to with online marketing. Knowing your EPCs, once again, so super important. The moment you know your EPCs, you measure this stuff, you can go out and buy traffic. That last day, $12.50 EPC, well, I didn't buy traffic for that particular offer because I told you that landing page was made for email JV traffic, not bought traffic. But you get the idea. The moment you know what your EPCs are, you can go out and get more of that particular type of traffic. I can now go and approach other affiliates and say, look, this is the EPCs we got. Do you want to do a promo? Traffic to offer match. So I think of all of the things here. If you have one takeaway, traffic to offer match. Okay, don't. A lot of people goes like, okay, I create one avatar. Here's my ideal client, and that is complete and utter nonsense. For each traffic source and each corresponding offer, you kind of need a sub avatar. Let's take internet marketing, for example. Internet marketing, you can have total beginners and you can have super advanced people. So what most people do is they put a very generic one-size-fits-all offer on their squeeze page and say, look, the top 100 ways of doing this. And that doesn't resonate either with the newbies or the advanced. It's just sort of in between. It's like, oh crap, So go out, or you need to get to the point where you have a clear idea of what the traffic source is all about, what type of traffic, where in the buying cycle they are, and then have a corresponding avatar, corresponding offer based on that avatar, and there you go. So with all of this, all these three things, you kind of need to have one simple structure in place where you have the necessary bits, none of the unnecessary, and just get going from there. Use that as a basis and then test and optimize your way to success. By the way, anyone can take split testing software like I showed you, convert.com. Okay, it's not an affiliate link, it's just a cool platform. It's so dead simple. Anyone with a tiny trickle of traffic can test their way to success. It is beautiful because you no longer have to worry, is this the right thing to do? Can I do that? Should I do it? Who cares? The numbers will tell you. When I say all of the above, I mean all of the above on the previous pages, this long list, all this kind of stuff here, right? In order for me to be able to tell you about these things today, needed me to have the experience to go through the stuff, to actually do it. Okay, you can't read that stuff in a book. You can't read it. Yes, you can read it in a PDF you buy on the Warrior Forum, whatever, but it doesn't make sense. It kind of makes sense intellectually, but you don't really get it until you do it. So the key thing is you need to do this stuff. You need to go out and do whatever it is you want to do. The classic example and trust me, it sounds so easy, like, yeah, go and do this stuff. When I started out, the first question I asked myself is like, what the heck do I write about now? It's like I had this blog on like business consulting, and like, and now what do I write about? And the way I started was basically taking someone else's blog posts from a different language and translated them into my language, and then I've kind of put my own twist on it. And I tried that about a week, and I thought, God, I'm such a fraud. This doesn't work. And I started basically doing more of the stuff and reporting on the mistakes I made. And people love that kind of stuff. So with all of this is you need momentum. Speed is of the essence. Perry Marshall sent out an email the other day, a very nice analogy. He says, look, my kids were involved in this school play, and they basically put the show together in a week, I think. I'm sorry, Perry, if you ever hear this, I'm destroying your story, but this is roughly how it goes. So his kids put on the show, they rehearse like mad, and it's a proper play, and they all rehearse the lines, and within a week it's all up and running, and they have a fantastic success. And then he's got this other friend who goes, oh yeah, we put on the show in 24 hours. They started in the morning, they rehearsed for 24 hours, didn't go to bed, and at 7 in the evening, the next day, they put on the show. And that is the kind of approach you need to take with internet marketing, with all the stuff we did here. And I think the launch model, and I've just gone through this launch, is a very fine example. You don't have time to plan. You don't have to go, is this right? Is it the wrong thing? It's like you work as fast and hard as you can. Just put it in there, put it in the split testing software. Hopefully it'll, some of the stuff will come out and look better. I mean, anyone who's been involved with this and connected with this and knows, what it was like talking to me over Skype. It's just like, frazzle all over the place. This, that, go, boom. Hey, Norma, that was awesome. Thank you. Boom. No, next. That is the most important thing. So, and all of this will lead you to one moment, and that is the this shit works moment. Okay, and once again, this is not theory. This is, I had this. Okay, I had the very first one when I started in 2007 online. When my very first sale was for over $600. I promoted a $2,000 product and made $600, and it's like, holy smoke! But of course, I didn't follow up properly. I didn't build a list. I didn't do more of the stuff that already worked. I didn't do any tracking. How stupid of me, and all that kind of stuff, right? But the true "this stuff works" moment came when I joined forces with a couple of guys on the Warrior Forum, and we released a WSO, and got WSO of the day, and we made like, I don't know, 20 grand or so overnight. I'm going, holy smoke, this stuff works. And we only got there because we just went, flying seat of pants type thing. Says, whoa, let's go do it. So that is my big advice with all of this. Anyway, because I kind of looked at all of this and thought, all right, we can put all of this together, I've got another thing for you. A training on Saturday, this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you go there, onlinerule.com/escape-velocity. It's another free training, just like this here, a little bit more structured, a little less UPS man. Probably me a whole lot more wired because I'm so excited about this coffee machine. And I'm so annoyed that I've now got another webinar in about an hour and a half, so I can't go out and buy coffee beans and play with this coffee machine all day. So very, very annoying. So I'll be totally wired on Saturday. Love to have you on the call. And basically what we're going to do is, or what I'm going to do is share with you probably the simplest model for doing all of this here, where you get to the point where you can start split testing, where you very quickly figure out what your EPC is, where you can very, very quickly and inexpensively test if you've got a traffic to offer match. A lot of people build this the completely wrong way. They start from the end, okay? I'll show you how to start doing this very, very quickly. And it's basically in 3 steps. You can have all of the necessary bits in place and all the other stuff you don't need, like, viral pop-ups and social sharing and blah, blah, blah. No one needs that in the beginning. In order to get to the place where you can do all the stuff that's really important, like the split testing, knowing your EPC, buying traffic, and all that kind of stuff, you need a very simple model, and that's what we're going to do here in that webinar, okay? onlinerule.com/escape velocity. So, training on Saturday is being recorded, yes. No, not repeated. I'm too busy. I'll be, yeah, it's going to be recorded like this one here, I hope. No, I didn't record this. I'm such an idiot. Well, there you go. I did not record. You just attended a live webinar and there was no recording. There you go. Right, and the other thing is, in case you're wondering, the other webinar in an hour and a half today, okay, that is the missing link for expert-based online presences. What I can do is copy the link in here into the chat box in case anyone's interested in going. All right, what this is I've managed to get Mike Broadwell. You probably don't know him because he's active outside the IM niche, and this guy does tele summits. So the bit where everyone gets together and you've got like 24 speakers and they all have their own product, their own list, and it's this giant event and they like make millions. I happen to know him because I've been to one of his things as a contributor. I've talked at one of his things and we made very nice money. Thank you very much, Mike. And what he's going to do, he's going to show us step by step how you can get massive publicity for your thing. That could be an online business, an offline business. Only precondition is it's basically you have something of value. So this is not like, ooh, I don't know what I'm doing or I don't know where to start. That's not good. But if you've got a very good idea, you've got a product, a service, or a very precise idea of what you want to promote, it'll be very useful for two reasons. A, he's going to show you his model. That's really been super successful over the last few years and still is for getting publicity. But also, and this is super important when you think back to a couple of previous slides where I said, you've got all these people applying for JV links and then they never promote for you, or this kind of ties back now to the question I almost forgot, or the point I forgot, and that was, how do you approach JV partners to promote for you? Okay. It's one of the quickest ways of getting traffic to your site, JV partners. Of course, you're giving away 50%, but I'd rather have 50% of a lot than nothing. And a lot of people get that completely wrong. To give you an example, if you wanted to take part in one of these telesummits and you have no idea, if you have no list, no product, you have no idea what an affiliate program is, you've no idea how to speak on a webinar, well, you're not very attractive as a JV partner. And the same thing applies pretty much anywhere. So what Mike is going to show us is basically the whole missing link from two perspectives. One is how to actively create publicity for yourself, but also the other side, how to make yourself attractive to other JV partners. So if that is of interest, I recommend you go to this link, which I'm now going to type in or copy and see if this works. Send to all. Is it going to have a return of the UPS? It was actually a rather lovely UPS lady. So, yes, coffee machine and no time to open it. This is like one of the worst days of my life. Okay, I do apologize for overrunning. I'd hoped to keep this to half an hour. If we blame the lovely UPS lady, okay, what questions do you have around this? I know this was like super fast, high speed. Oh yeah, by the way, if you go to this here, okay, onlinerule.com/escape velocity. It's a webinar like this. There's a question box on the sign-up form where you can leave your number one question. I didn't know what else to type in now, right? Have a think about what you've just seen here, this list here, right? Is there anything in particular where you think, oh yeah, I really need help with this? Or is there anything on this slide where you go, right, oh, this whole split testing thing is completely throwing me, or this lifetime value in EPCs, I don't know, or buying traffic to offer match, any of these things. If you've got a question around that, make sure you enter that in the question box, so kind of tailor the whole presentation to what you specifically need. Your mental image of UPS is forever transformed, yes. Okay, questions. It is questions time for another like 3 minutes. I do apologize that I need to go. And I know it's not for getting coffee. You did not fully understand the Aweber problem. Okay, Aweber, right. It's got to do with the Gmail tabs. So Gmail has decided to put those 3 tabs in the inbox. We've got the social in the middle, you've got promotions on the right, and your primary on the left. And they've simply gone out and said, look, anyone who sends emails from Aweber or uses Aweber and all the big, they've basically taken all the big email providers and said, anyone who sends emails from their servers is someone who promotes stuff. And that's why it goes in the promotions tab. Now, a lot of people don't look in the promotions tab, or very rarely, because, well, we don't want to spend our days looking at promotions. We want to have useful emails. So there are other email services, like, for example, Amazon at the moment. Amazon sends out tons of email, and they also have an email service. You can't use it directly. You need to have an interface for it. But email from Amazon, for example, goes through, and I imagine it's probably because Amazon and Google are big friends. So Amazon would get very, very annoyed if the Amazon emails suddenly didn't end up in the promotions tab. So they can't really fire those people, and that's why I'm looking very actively to replace Aweber by something else. Next one, what do you have planned for Survey Snatcher? A lot of stuff. So Survey Snatcher is going to go into a grown-up version now for the real world, if you like. So we're going paid traffic, more business-oriented. So the overall design, look and feel will change ever so slightly. But in terms of functionality, what we dearly would love to do very soon is integrate a few more autoresponders. We also have plans for doing mobile templates, so they work on mobile devices. That's kind of the big two. And then we've got a top secret ninja, and as this is not being recorded, I'm such an idiot, honestly. I'm not pressing record now. The top secret ninja stuff. When you look at Survey Snatcher at the moment, you know that you can funnel people into different lists. Okay, depending on the answers they've given, depending where they are in that survey, you can put them in different lists. And what we're doing now is we are working on an extension where you can integrate that with your autoresponder, the links, and then also the links people are clicking on your website. So you send people to a website on your site, of course, or a page on your blog post on your site which doesn't have a survey on it but has a different link. So you can simply observe what kind of links people are clicking on and then basically refine your picture of those clients in a like subtle, unobtrusive way without having to send them through a survey. So it's a top secret ninja extension. That'll be at least a month out until we've tested it to bits, but that's where we're going. I mistakenly skipped. All right. What are the bare bones for a platform? Website up, traffic already, and a product. Graham, that will be covered on Saturday. The bare bones for that initial platform. Michael, I mistakenly skipped the OTO for Survey Snatcher. Could you provide me a link? Yes, send me an email, okay, to reply to fight@googlemail.com, and we'll sort that out. Google can add send response or whoever to the tab list. I'm not sure, Larry, what that means. Google can add send response or whoever to the tab list. Andrew, would love to see more dynamic functionality in the Survey Snatcher. Send me an email or open a ticket at imtoolshq.com/support, okay, and then Raoul and I will look into that and give a few more examples what you'd like to see more dynamic functionality. Wow, intelligence, love it. So if they enter a detail, you can use it on future questions. I imagine that is with the sneaky links on the site. Yes, exactly. It's basically sort of getting a better picture and then guiding them towards the right surveys, the right kind of content. What chance of integrating with Amazon simple email services? Robin, it's a little while out. We are actively playing with that idea, but I don't want to promise anything at the moment. What other types of autoresponders will you add in the future? Well, the ones where there's enough demand. Let's put it this way. If one person asks us, can you do this? It's unlikely that we're going to focus on that, but if enough people ask for it, yeah, sure. Survey Snatcher to incorporate intuitive customer behavior flow responsiveness. Love it. Deals with issues for a few of my clients. Yes, exactly. That's what we're aiming at. Can I recommend any WordPress plugin like I have just missed whilst watching a webinar? Not quite sure. Can you recommend any WordPress plugin like I have just missed while watching a webinar? I'm not sure, Karim, what you mean. Just curious, how did you learn to speak English so well? Watching Home and Away and Neighbours when I moved to Britain in '91, and then I didn't leave for 17 years. SendReach, ArtReach, SendReach. So yeah, we've seen those two are probably high up on the list, SendReach and ArtReach. I've seen quite a few. a request for those. Kareem says WordPress plugin for split testing. Can I recommend any other WordPress plugin for split testing? I don't know, Kareem, I'm still unsure. Sorry. I learned my English from Kylie. Kylie, I didn't think was actively in it when I was watching Home and Away and Neighbours. Or at least she was too short for me, so I never paid attention to her. So yeah, looking at this, we've got ArpReach and SendReach. Kylie is in Neighbours 1990. So was she there in 91 and 92? Because that's when I'm over there. Does anyone know Johnny? God, what's his name? Johnny Cass. He was in one of those things. I know him personally. I've met him a few times. He's cool. Alrighty, I think our conversation is not Cass. Yeah, but he is as cool as Johnny Cash. Exactly. So I think I've got a feeling that since we're now on Home and Away and Neighbours officially, we're running out of time. So I overran. I do apologize for that, and we blame the oh lovely UPS lady and the coffee machine. Alrighty. So if you've got time, it'll be a lot of fun on Saturday, and no UPS lady, more coffee. And until then, if you've got any questions, okay, open a support ticket at imtoolshq.com/support, or send me an email at replytofeit.com. No, at Gmail or googlemail.com. Has this been recorded? No, it hasn't. I'm such a muppet. So it was a genuinely one-off webinar. There you go. Cool. Speak to you soon. Bye then.